Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am Anna and I'm a little bit spooky. And today we're doing a first impressions and a wear test, and I guess kind of a roundup of my thoughts at the end of the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation and Concealer. I was sent these two products through the Octoly network, so we're going to put these to the test, see if they look good on my skin and how I like them. I'm not usually a super full coverage kind of girl or a super matte finish kind of girl, so I was really interested to try it and just to see if I would like it. So yeah, we're going to test these out today and see what they're like for the first time. And if that interests you, just go ahead and keep on watching. But before you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know, have you tried any products from Catrice? I was very surprised by their price point and how affordable everything was. I didn't realize that they were that affordable. This is my first time trying anything from Catrice today, so let's see how things go. So far, so good. Yeah, let's get into that demo, talk a little bit about the product and that wear test. Alright guys, so today we will be testing out the Catrice Cosmetics HD Liquid Coverage Foundation and Concealer. The claim on this is lasts up to 24 hours. I will not be wearing this 24 hours. I barely make it 9 hours in a foundation. But we're going to wear it a while, see how long it lasts and holds up today. I have not used this on my face yet, so this is a true first impression at the moment. And I'm just going to wear it, see how it goes. It claims to be mattifying and to have a second skin effect. And then I also have the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer that claims to last 12 hours. So we'll probably get about a good 10 hours in. We'll see. I'm pretty awake. I've been up a while though. We'll see. We'll see how long I can manage to stay awake. If I can't get a full day wear test in, I will insert a wear test tomorrow of this foundation and concealer and try to do at least 12 hours. But today we'll see how long we go. And I'm just gonna do my first impressions of these products and let you know what I think. This is the first Catrice product I've ever tried, and I've heard such good things about these two that I'm really, really interested to see how they perform. This is the HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. Retails for $11. That's a great price. Looks like a pretty decent shade range. I have the lightest shade, which is Porcelain. I believe I have Porcelain Beige. Really nice glass packaging with a little dropper situation. Very, very nice packaging. I can't believe it's only 11 bucks. It's made in Italy, and it says here, lightweight and non-oily texture that feels like second skin. Provides a long-lasting full coverage without mask effect and creates an even complexion with high definition finish for camera ready skin. Shake well before use. Alright, now I have a feeling the best way to go about this one, it would be with a brush. See on the website if it recommends a method. Moisturize the skin, especially for dry skin, which is good because I have moisturized twice today. Okay, so it says to use a brush, and for medium coverage, medium buildable coverage, use a sponge. So I think I'm gonna do half my face with a sponge, half my face with my brush, and see which finish I like best. But as far as skin prep today, I haven't done any primer. I used earlier today some of my Sunday Riley Eye Ceramide, and then just a little while ago I threw on some, I believe, Beauty hydrating gel cream because I was cleaning up fallout, and I just used this to clean up fallout and then end up moisturizing again because I'm a little dry today because it is very cold. And I've also used some of my autocorrect from Sunday Riley under the eyes. But yeah, it's cold today. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I think I've shaken it up enough. I'm going to start with the brush on this side, and then on this side we'll use a sponge. Oh, it's a nice dropper, and it's like a good fit in here so a bunch of excess product doesn't come out. So it doesn't look like it's going to make a huge mess. Okay. Okay, it's pretty thin. Pretty liquidy and thin, kind of runny. It smells very nostalgic. It reminds me of Cabbage Patch Dolls. I don't know. It does. That's what I'm thinking of. The way a Cabbage Patch Doll smelled. Alright, so let's take the brush. This is my Sonia Kashuk foundation brush. It's kind of my go-to favorite one. And I'm just going to dab a little bit in here and pounce it on. I think the shade match looks pretty good. It says to work in circular motions and kind of pat. So far, so good. I think the shade match is really nice. It's not quite as much coverage as I was anticipating. So it's very, I think it's claims to be buildable. So I'm just kind of going on with a nice coat of it. Oops, I forgot and went on my other side of my face. Whoops, oops, oops. Just gonna wipe that off. Okay, so just one half with a brush. Is definitely covering up my redness, and anything like that looks pretty perfected. It really does smell like a Cabbage Patch doll. Okay, let's put a little forehead here, and I've used pretty much a whole pump for half of my face. And I'm not applying a ton of product though. You know, I don't like really heavy coverage. I just like things to be evened out. So this is a little bit of a different type of product for me, being very full coverage, which, I mean, it's claiming to be super full coverage, but I think it's, to me, this is a medium buildable, in my opinion. Medium buildable to full. I think depending on how much you maybe pat on and apply. But okay. This to me seems like a product that would work best with a brush, just because it is so thin. So thin, it just seems like it would lend itself better to it. Alright, so that's half the face done. I think it looks very even, very nice. Ignore the under eye because we haven't got to that yet. Let's look up close up. Yeah, this looks like a pretty matte finish. Might be a little dry looking. It's very lightweight. I don't feel it on my skin. But I'm not loving the way it's looking around my nose, like right in here and kind of around my mouth. If I can blend that in a little better. It's not sitting real great right there. But on the cheeks it looks pretty good. And it looks pretty good on the forehead. This one might benefit from a primer, a pore filling primer. So I feel like I can kind of see some pores. Like it doesn't look quite as, looks a little dry. I can't say I'm loving the way it's looking around my mouth. But we'll see. And like kind of like right in here, it does seem to be emphasizing some fine lines just a bit. And it's a little, pretty matte. I think on the cheek it looks okay though. Let's look in the magnified mirror. It's definitely not the worst. Just a hair dehydrated looking. But like I said, my skin is kind of dry today, but I've moisturized twice. Alright, so let's try it with the sponge. It might look better, who knows. So I'm going to take another drop here. And I'm going to take my Sonia Kashuk sponge. And pat that on. And this is supposed to give you more of a medium, lighter coverage. Which to me is looking fuller. More full coverage, honestly. I'm usually a sponge girl, but it really depends on the product. Like with my L'Oreal Serum Foundation, Hyaluronic Serum Foundation, I love a brush with it because it's so thin. And I feel like this product being very thin, I just feel like a brush suits it. But we'll see. And this is slightly damp. I think that coverage looks better. Or maybe just about the same, but a little bit better on this side. I feel like it went a little further. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting more building more buildableness with the sponge though. Yeah, it's pretty matte looking, but it doesn't look terribly flat. Like it's a, I would call it more of a soft matte. It has a little bit of that powdery look to it, just a hair. It reminds me a lot of the Total Control drops from NYX. Hey, it doesn't look bad. Actually, you know, the more I look at it, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Okay, let's see how this side looks in the mirror. Yeah, that looks so much better applied with a sponge. I think because it pressed the product in the skin, it doesn't look like it's creating texture. I have like kind of a, like it's just not sitting as pretty on this side where I buffed it in with the sponge. Like it, or with the brush, it's kind of, looks like it's wanting to break up, you know? It just doesn't, it's not sitting as pretty into the, on the skin and around the pores and fine lines. Whereas on this side, it looks much more flawless. Cool, okay. So I think I'm gonna prefer a sponge with this one. I'm surprised. I thought I was gonna like a brush much more. So I'm gonna just take the sponge over this side as well. And kind of, yeah, that fixed it. That made it so much better. Just work it in. Wow. I do have a little bit of glitter fall out on my face from my eyeshadow. Yeah, I think that's looking a little bit better now that I went over it with the sponge. Let me build up a little bit more just right around my nose. And I don't like the way it sits in that crease on this side, but it looks good on this side. I don't know why that is. It's just on one little, right here. I don't think it looks super great, but it's just one little spot compared to the rest of the face, which I think looks fine. Yeah, and I think it looks way better with a sponge. Yeah, I think it looks really nice on the cheek area though, and the forehead. Just this one little spot's kind of, I'm not loving. But that, it's just the one spot though. It's not on the other side like that. I think the rest of the face looks fine. It appears to be like, you know, a nice soft matte finish. It's pretty full coverage. And definitely can be built. I think this level right here is perfect for me as far as coverage levels goes. This is my ideal full coverage. Alright, let's try out this concealer. Okay, the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer retails for only $6. Wow. And it doesn't look like a super huge shade range on the concealer. I don't know. They don't look like they run super dark or anything. Long lasting liquid concealer with weightless coverage. Camouflage perfection. Dark circles, imperfections, and redness is now a thing of the past. Liquid Camouflage Concealer offers optimal coverage without drying on the skin. The liquid concealer is highly pigmented, waterproof, and lasts for hours. Easy to use doe foot applicator. Okay. Alright, let's give it a go. Now I have this in Fair Ivory 1, which is the lightest shade. Okay. A nice little doe foot. Pretty basic packaging here. It's a pretty strong smell. Kind of chemically smelling. Alright. But again, it is oil-free, sustainable palm oil, it says here. Gluten-free, alcohol-free, no animal testing. Oh look, there's a video of Tati using it. It's got really, really good reviews, by the way. Both these products do. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit right here on my dark circle area, which are looking kind of prominent today. I don't know what's up with that. I don't usually have trouble with dark circles. But surprise, today we do. Alright, so I'm going to take my sponge. I don't know how quickly this sets down. So I'm going to get in there and get it covered. Get it blended. It blended out pretty effortlessly. That looks pretty nice. So that was a very light layer. Let's see if we can build a little bit. Alright, it's very brightening. Looks like pretty decent coverage. Nice shade match for me. Alright, let me look in the mirror. Oh wow, that looks beautiful. Ooh, that looks stunning. Wow, it looks so smooth. Okay, this concealer I like. I can tell you that right now. First impression, really liking that concealer. I'm liking the foundation. I feel like it is very soft matte and kind of is meshing my skin a little bit more as I wear it. Just wasn't loving just right around my nose. Just around my nose ring particularly, like that little spot. But sometimes that spot gives me trouble. You don't get a ton of product on the wand either, or on the doe foot, which I really like. It doesn't come out overloaded, so you can really control it. Oops, I got it on my eyeshadow. I always do that, at least on one eye. Let's see, let's try to fix that. Dang, that concealer is absolutely flawless looking. $6 too. Holy shit. Yeah, that looks gorgeous under the eye. It's so smooth looking and perfected. It doesn't look like it's settling into my creases. Good stuff. Alright, let's take a little bit on the chin. Down the center of the nose. A bit right here to brighten. It's a very thin formula as well. Okay, that looks really nice. Like, that looks fantastic. I love this concealer. Like, that just meshed so beautifully with my skin. And the foundation is looking pretty good now that it's kind of had a moment to almost like acclimate. I think I would really like it with a more pore filling primer underneath as well. But so far, so good. Okay. Yeah, it's just around this little nostril. I'm having a bit of a, doesn't look great, but that tends to happen sometimes. I've just had better luck with it lately. I don't know what it is about. Ever since I got my nose pierced, that one little nostril wants to be a troublemaker when it comes to applying foundation to it. Alright, so for powder, I'm going to kind of minimally powder this because it is matte. And it does feel pretty set down. Like lightly set already. Nice kind of powdery finish. So I'm going to take, you know what, Flawless Filter would probably look beautiful underneath this and really kind of balance it out and really be able to like control your glow. I'm going to take my kind of trusty Lift and Illuminate here. And I'm just going to pat this under the eye just to make sure that concealer is not going to crease or budge on me. In the T-zone here. My oilier spots, which should be around my mouth and lower part of my face. Particularly my chin. My chin gets really oily and like right in here. Otherwise I'm feeling a bit dehydrated today. I'm not taking much powder at all. I'm really keeping it to the center of the face. Alright, let's see how it looks. Well, now it looks absolutely flawless. Look at this. Matte and flawless. It's such a polar opposite of foundations I tend to go for. Kind of like the way this looks. If I'm doing a bit more of a, I don't know, feeling a little more glam, this would be a great product. A good foundation that I would probably want to reach for depending on how well it wears. If it can live up to that claim of the long wear, we might really be onto something. But yeah, I think it looks really pretty so far. It is matte, so if you don't like a matte finish, you're not going to like it. If you do like a matte finish, it's definitely got you covered there. And yeah, I mean, I can still see like my freckles through and everything, but I didn't try to build up and get a super high coverage because I don't love like super duper high coverage. I like to see a little bit of my skin and freckles peeping through. Okay, so I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my face and we'll be back to see how it looks all when the makeup's all done, and yeah, we'll see how we feel. Okay, and here's the face all done with the Catrice HD foundation. I have put a little bit of highlighter on my cheeks. I used Hourglass and blush and bronzer. And yeah, the rest of the face is done as well. So yeah, I haven't done any setting spray, no primer, just some moisturizer. And I think now that it's been on my skin a little bit, it's been on about an hour, I think it's looking really, really nice. Like it's kind of settled into my skin in a good way. Like it's adapted and just kind of bonded. And I think it looks pretty. Yeah, it's a matte finish, but after I add the highlighter, it feels right. It looks good. So I'm gonna see how long it wears today. I got some videos to edit. I'm gonna play some Sims, pill around the house, maybe cook dinner. I don't know. We'll see what I get into. I don't have a very exciting day planned, but I am gonna hang out in this for a while and see how it holds up. And yeah, I doubt I'm gonna get 12 hours, but we'll see how long we get. If I don't feel like today's wear test is sufficient, the next footage will be tomorrow doing a better wear test. We'll see. We'll see. Sometimes I don't think I test a product long enough and change my mind and decide I need to redo it and do it longer. Either way, everything will be exactly the same tomorrow as far as the skin prep goes and the lack of setting spray. So yeah. Upon first impressions though, I am absolutely in love with this concealer. I think it looks freaking phenomenal. Oh my god, it is so smooth and stunning under the eye. It looks so perfect. And yeah, the rest of the face looks very perfect. I have a little bit of creasing right here, but every product creases right there on me, and just that little bit around my nostril on this one side I'm not loving, but it's one side, and yeah, I think everything else is looking really good. So I'll see you guys in a little while for a check-in. Okay, the foundation's been on about an hour and a half at this point, but I wanted to give you a look at it in natural daylight. I think it looks so good. I'm impressed. I really, like, even at first I didn't like it. It is a little creasy right here, so I don't love that, but everywhere else it's looking pretty dang good. But I wanted you to see what it looked like in daylight, and I am wearing highlighter, but just like some natural like shine is kind of peeping through a little bit. It looks a little more broken. Like it looks like it has kind of merged with my skin in a good way. It really is lightweight though. I can't feel anything on my skin, so that's awesome. Right, midday check-in brought to you by Cheez-Its. Let's see, how are we looking? Exactly the same. Wow. Yeah, everything feels the same. Get you in here real close. Yeah, it feels comfortable. I don't feel like I'm wearing a ton of makeup except for my half lashes. I can definitely feel those. But yeah, everything is looking good. It is currently 4 in the afternoon. I've had this on since about 7 this morning. Pretty good. Alright, I'll do one more check-in before I head to bed. Also, the lipsticks held up pretty well too. And I've eaten. There's something to say about the Charlotte Tilbury, just traditional matte lipsticks. They wear really well. Alright, well, I will see you guys tonight. Alright, we are at the 12-hour mark. I'm tired. I think it might actually be longer than 12 hours. But I'm ready for bed. You see, it is nighttime, so here's how things are looking. We're in different lighting. This is my bathroom lighting, which is pretty awful. And kind of shows all the sins. So, yeah, you can kind of see my texture I got. But otherwise, I think everything has held up quite well. I have a mirror right here. Just don't look in that. Yeah, a little dewy. Like I could use a powder. but you know, it looks fine. A little cakey, I think, around the mouth. Yeah, definitely a little cakey around the mouth. But I think, you know, some touch-up powder would be okay. It's not really breaking up or anything. It's just looking a little makeup-y around the mouth area. But that's the only downside. Otherwise, I think it looks okay. It just could use a little powder. The under eyes look freaking fantastic though. The concealer is amazing. The foundation, I can't say is my favorite foundation ever, but it's nice to have that matte option around. I don't see this being a 24-hour wear foundation by any means, because here we are at 12 hours. I'm looking pretty shiny and pretty makeup-y and not looking my favorite. I don't see this holding up much longer, honestly. And I've tried not to touch my face or anything, I think. Yeah, so I am feeling quite dewy, but a little kind of just a bit heavy and kind of textured. I don't know, it just has that makeup-y look, you know? And I don't tend to go for foundations that look like that, and so I can't really say this one's my favorite foundation, but the concealer is absolutely amazing. Hands down, love the concealer. I think my under eyes look fantastic, aside from the glitter underneath them. It's fell down. But everywhere that I've put the concealer looks great. My nose looks really good. The center of my forehead and like the center of my chin, everywhere that the concealer was, looks really nice. It's just this region right here, I really do not like the way it looks. And that wasn't my favorite when I applied the concealer, or the foundation. I was a little about right over here. But now I feel like this side looks worse. You can see how it's kind of, it's definitely gathering in this crease right here. And my chin doesn't look great, and just right in here. And I feel like I have a lot of texture going on. Like it's kind of emphasizing some texture. I don't think this is the most flawless looking foundation. It doesn't have that kind of airbrush look that I like in a foundation. The Physicians Formula Butter Believe It one is like one of my favorite ones, and you know, that new L'Oreal Serum one is beautiful. L'Oreal Fresh Wear. This one reminds me a bit of L'Oreal Fresh Wear, but just not quite as good. But it's a similar type product, or the NYX Total Control Drops. It's that kind of finish. So, you know, I'm willing to give it another try. Maybe try it with a little more powder and see how it wears, because we did pretty minimal powdering and I didn't do any setting spray or any primer. So perhaps those would add some longevity to the foundation. And yeah, otherwise I think it's okay. It's an okay product. I don't think it's necessarily super long wearing. It looks about average as any foundation looks on me about this point, if not just a little makeup-y. But the concealer, in love with the concealer, will hands down, that has become like a top tier product just because of how beautiful it looks on the skin. So yeah, that is all for today's video. Thank you for hanging out with me and watching this little first impressions slash kind of review wear test. I will of course keep you updated on if I find some ways to make this product look even better on my skin, or if my opinions change. It will be updated in a products update video in the future. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye now.